Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people. This is the Bravado Verlierer, or as I like to call it, the Valhalla, and I'm about to find out if it'll off-road. This is the second most voted for vehicle this week, coming in with 50 votes. And as we line up and take off, we have our first comment, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your kind words indeed. I put a lot of hard work into all my videos, whether it's for 10 viewers, 10,000, or 100,000, or however many I manage to get. I'll always put hard work in my videos and continue to hold on to the hope that quality will eventually result in quantity. That doesn't seem to be the case on YouTube. Anyway, the Verlierer. It's such a weird name. Is a run-of-the-mill average sports car. However, it's doing already rather well here in the dirt. It doesn't seem to slow down all that much. I have no idea what its off-road traction loss is. But what's really helping it is, well, one, hitting hikers. That always helps a car. But two, it seems to be able to put its power down without a lot of wheel spin. And that's what we run into a lot on rear-wheel drive sports cars and muscle cars as well, is that they have a lot of power to get them moving, but in the dirt, that power just results in nothing but the rear wheels kicking up a big rooster tail of dust. But here, we're doing all right. Definitely leaving Rocket behind in his Enos back there, the Stratford, whatever it's called. Yeah, he definitely struggled to keep up with me in this one. But the Valhalla is doing great. Making a pretty effortless run. We have had a couple little spin outs like that one there. But other than that, you know, it's doing okay. And that's kind of what it has, you know, going against it. It doesn't have the best grip, even though it does have a spoiler. The back end can get away from you on this car, so you got to be a little bit careful in the turns. But other than that, you know, if you get right back on the throttle, it puts the power right down. So making a pretty decent climb here. I mean, we're already able to see the top of the mountain, so that's not bad at all. Of course, if you play Will It Off-Road Bingo and you happen to get a card that has the ascent under 3 minutes, it looks like you might be able to tick that one off, because it looks like we're going to pull it off here. Yeah, I know, I already know by time I do the voiceover, but you know, I can pretend. Not going to pretend for the next car, though. Just wait. Just hold on until you see what the next car does. Wow. So, coming up for our final little climb here, and it's a pretty drama-free experience. I mean, a little bit of wheel spin there, but not too much. Nothing that couldn't be controlled with the throttle, but we are up 2 minutes, 49 seconds. So, will it off-road? Yeah, it did all right. I mean, it's a sports car, but, you know, it did all right. That makes it fourth in the sports category for the next few minutes at least. 29th overall out of 206 vehicles that have run. In the sports category, it is just behind the Raiden by 0.15 seconds, though it is 1/10 of a second faster than the Feltzer. So again, you know, the Feltzer was one that struggled with a little bit of wheel spin. Not a lot, but a little bit more than this one. And so you can see that this car's ability to put that power down to the ground really helped. What doesn't help, though, is it's lightweight on these jumps and bumps. It really wants to go airborne at every opportunity. And so I had to be careful, definitely keeping my speed down because of that. The control descent in a lightweight car that likes to fly up like this, I mean, if you don't have any wheels in the ground, obviously you can't stop, and obviously you can't steer. So, yeah, just taking it kind of easy to make sure we get down the mountain without any mishaps. A little fast there, but managed to bring it back into control. That red paint really shines in the early morning sun, doesn't it? That's just pretty. I hate to say it like that, but it is. It's pretty. I may not be able to drive a car, but I can design them nice every once in a while. Managed to clip a little bit of the mountainside there as the back end was struggling to figure out which direction it really wanted to go. Coming up to a bit of a jump, and not a very good landing, definitely. The back end came around, plus the front end dipped down really heavy. But if I remember right, this thing has a V12 in it. Am I wrong on that, or is it just a 10? I don't know. I think it's 10. Now that I think back to what I've seen. We'll get to see under the hood of it soon enough. Don't you worry. But you can hear with the engine braking, I'm very rarely on the gas with this thing. More than anything, I'm just letting the car kind of coast down the hills until this part, of course, where I can finally get back on the gas a little bit. Don't want to do it too much because I don't want that back end to get away from me. Managed to get some air coming up over this last little trail here, the one that's hardest to see on your screen, and at night makes it next to impossible to find. If you've ever watched any of the Wheel It Off-Road videos that happen at night, you know I struggle to find that path. I have to kind of like pay attention to the map more than I do anything else. Managed to miss a hiker. They were lucky today, which is probably good because I probably would have gotten the wanted level had that happened. And if you're playing bingo, sorry you don't get the wanted level. That's what that card tile's for. But we are down 2 minutes 35 seconds. So we're gonna take the Verlierer back to the top of Mount Chilad and fling it off the side. Nice start, staying nice and flat, and pretty good landing off of that. But I think that's probably the only good landing we're gonna get. Yeah, we're already ripping the car to pieces. And of course, Rocky is behind me in a very heavy car, so he just kind of steamrolled right over me. Not much he can do about it. The damage is sent. There's not a lot you can do when your car is just careening out of control in the valley of a mountain. Still, so far, I've managed to keep hold of all my body parts. I don't know that we'll be able to keep that true for this entire damage descent, but for the time being, we're doing all right. Rocket's car looks like it might be taking a bit of a beating as well. Had a bit of an issue here with these two boulders, so I want to round them instead of over them. I don't think I could have gone over them in the car this slow slung. And back on the wheels. Don't know how long that's going to last either. Obviously, well, let's say not very long. We didn't flip, we just spun. Coming around these two trees can be a little bit tricky. And then, of course, I always try to aim for a perfect shot into the tunnel and screwed it up. There goes the hood. Don't know how many cylinders we can count there. But we'll take a look here and I'll slow down. I think it's 10. I think I just saw 5 on each side there. Into the bumpy, muddy bit, and that's where this car really starts to struggle. Did a lovely little pirouette there. Into the next tunnel. Gonna come up around the wood pile, or more into the tree by the wood pile. Spin around a bit, and we're down 1 minute 41 seconds. Let's take a look at the damage as part of the fence that Rocket just hit. Comes onto the screen. All the windows and lights, along with the hood, are missing. The doors and trunk will not close. Has bent wheels and pretty significant body damage for a DLC car. Take a look at Rocket's Enos, Stafford, whatever it's called. Beautiful paint job on that car. But it took a little bit of a beating. But that's going to bring us to our next vehicle. The Ubermacht Revolter. And if I'm not mistaken, this is an all-wheel drive car. It's also our most voted for vehicle this week, coming in with 270 votes. So for everybody who voted for this car, thank you. You were making possible something very, very cool. And Finn, I'm sorry that I couldn't explode and die for you. I will definitely try harder in next videos to let you get that tile on your bingo card. And if you're wondering what we're talking about with bingo, there's a link in the description down below that leads to a bingo card generator with some of the popular things and even less popular things that happen in Will It Off-Road. And you can play bingo. And if you get bingo, you put it in the comments. Bingo. Or you can join our Discord server and play along there and put bingo in, I don't know, general chat or something. So, yeah, anyway, the Revolter is pretty much a freight train. I mean, the thing just piles on the speed and then holds on to it once it's there. Amazingly quick acceleration out of this car. And again, if I'm not mistaken, it is all-wheel drive. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that. But it really felt like it for a couple reasons. One is the way I could feel the car pulling itself up the hill. Not only are those rear wheels pushing, but it also felt like it was being pulled up. But it also suffers in a couple places from very traditional all-wheel drive understeer, like right there, for instance. And that's very characteristic of an all-wheel drive car. However, even with those struggles, look at this time. I mean, look how high up we already are at just under a minute and a half. So this is going to be a quick run because, well, I mean, our record holders are usually around this spot at this time. So the thing that's holding it back not only is that understeer, but also the length of the car. Have to go a little bit slower into the corners to ensure that not only do I get to turn in, but that the whole car makes it. So that's slowing it down just a little bit, just having such a massively long wheelbase. But look at that acceleration, even that tiny little bit where I was full throttle, it just lurches forward and just wants to run. I mean, the car is a thoroughbred, but look at this time that we're getting out of this thing. I mean, we're right around the corner from finish, and we've just now passed that just a little over 2 minute mark. So, yeah, this is going to be a really good time. Ran into a bit of a trouble again. I don't know if that was oversteer or just lack of braking. Kind of missed my turning point. Costed a few seconds. But we are to the top of Mount Chilad in the Revolter. 2 minutes, 33 seconds. Will it off-road? Yeah, unbelievably well for a big, heavy, long German saloon. That's sedan for you American viewers. That put the Revolter just 0.017 seconds slower than the free crawler that we took a look at last week. 0.3 of a second faster than the Desert Raid, an off-road truck. So that is pretty impressive. It's also 3 seconds faster than the Nero Custom, which of course we know is in the supercars class. That makes this car the 4th overall. The first in sports, where it is a full 9 seconds faster than what previously held that first place, which is the Elegy Retro Custom. So not bad at all from the Revolter. Of course, getting it back down the mountain, running into the same issues, the length of the car, and a bit of oversteer. Thankfully, you're not on the gas as often in these corners. You're on the brakes, but it still is a lot of car to navigate around some of those tighter bends. But back there on that uneven bit, it handled it really well. First little jump, not so composed. The back end definitely kicked up, caused some issues there. We'll see what it does on this next jump that's coming up here. But it's not really too much of a struggle. I mean, there was some control issues with the car, but more than anything, well, that was a pretty nice landing. More than anything, though, it was all right to drive. I definitely enjoyed it. I knew when I was driving it that it felt fast. I had no idea that it was coming in around that 2.5 minute mark, though. It's one of those cases where it looks slow or feels slow when you're doing it, but then when you actually see the time, it's kind of impressive. Speaking of impressive, that was a nice bit of driving around that corner back there. Kind of proud of that, if I can say so. Down through the somewhat straight bit of this trail where we climb back up a little bit to head over into a little unmarked path. Went a little too wide, and then, oh yeah, the back end was getting squirrely on me. I couldn't get it back under control. Tried to make the turn with just a little too much throttle, and around it came. But that's really been the only major issue out of this car the entire time that we've been driving it up and down the mountain today. So, you know, I'll take it. I won't complain. I've left the other people behind me in the dust, though. I mean, I think Commander had to take a shortcut. Squirrel's stealing somebody else's truck. We're down in 2 minutes, 22 seconds. Somebody's coming behind me. We've really got to get Commander Hobo some driving lessons. But we're back at the top of Mount Chilad, where Commander and Rocket are both behind me. I think Squirrel is the dot that is down toward the finish line. And boom, there we go, our first hit. Not a very graceful one at all, as a Tauros goes flying ahead of me. Good pick, I think, to match such a big, elegant, luxury saloon. It's having the Lamborghini base SUV. As we kind of tango and wrestle down the mountain for a moment there. Yep, nice final little bump from Commander. And there's Rocky in a different Enos. I believe that is the 55. Cognoscenti 55, sorry. It might not be the 55. It might just be the regular Cognoscenti. Not 100% sure. Wow, that was a big hit. Took a little bit of my health. Thought for a minute that I was going to be able to keep it under control. Did a nice little 360, then managed to just keep on going after shoving Rocket out of the way. However, let's see. Oh, I'm about to say, let's see if we can hear it, but yeah, I can't manage to stop talking in the right spot. There's a little bit of an engine rattle happening. Just, it's there. It's not super loud, but it is there. So it is taking some engine damage just by having 100% armor. There, it was really loud. Into, oh, the next tunnel as Commander Hobo just squeaks by. Our final little climb. Boom, nailed the woodpile. Managed to go flying and lose a hood in the process. But we are down 1 minute, 41 seconds. And once again, Squirrel ruins a closing shot. Don't worry, I've had words with him. All the lights, most of the windows are gone. The hood and the left door missing. The trunk and remaining doors won't close. And there's some engine damage. And we'll take a look at the other 3 vehicles that were pretty much with us the entire time. Squirrels looks like that without even reaching the top of the mountain. He never made it up and fell off. Anyways, guys, that is going to do it for this week's Will It Off-Road. Don't forget to play along with Bingo. And if you do manage to score Bingo, leave that in the comments down below. And also don't forget to go vote for the vehicles that you want to see featured in upcoming Will It Off-Road videos. And until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.